Welcome everybody to our January Solidarity session. We're going to start off with our introductions. Now I'm going to call on people as I see them on my screen. It may not be the same as you see people on your screen. So there's no particular order here. It's just as they come on my screen. Last up, I'll introduce our guest speaker and our other guest. So first, let's start with Frank Cipolla.
My name is Frank Cipolla. I am the media liaison for the Italian American One Voice Coalition. I spent many, many years as a television reporter and anchor in New York City. And I have my glasses and hat on tonight because I'm incognito. I don't want anybody taking pictures of me while I'm on here.
All right.
I saw your picture in the post office.
Yes. Yes, I was
Bring
in
a
the
line
post.
through it.
Okay, Marianne, please.
Marianne Schick, Sons and Daughters of Italy, Vigiano Lodge on Long Island, New York.
Great. Jim Scannelli.
I'm Jim Scannelli, past president of Montville Unico, member of the board of directors, One Voice Italian American Coalition, and a member of NAGA.
Great. Jim Benassi.
I'm Jim Benassi from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm president of the Italian American Association of Louisville. Thank you.
Great. Joe Verdone.
Joe Verdone, Greater Grandsby Unico.
Thanks. Kathy March.
Hi, Kathy Mach from Cleveland. I'm a NAGA representative. My school was Anderson High School in Cincinnati, and I've been networking with the schools across the United States. I'm the NAGA rep.
Thanks. Bob DiBiase.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob DiBiase. I'm from the New Jersey Italian Heritage Commission, Chair Emeritus. My subcommittee right now is creating the American Task Force, Italian American Task Force, with the intention of creating commissions like New Jersey's across the country.
Great. Joe Monticello.
Executive Board of the Lieutenant Detective Joseph Petrosino Association and President Emeritus of the Italian Board of Guardians in New York.
Great. Welcome. Frank Lorenzo.
Hi, everybody. It's Frank Lorenzo, Vice President, Italian American One Voice Coalition.
Okay, thanks. And Larry Manzino.
Hi, I'm Westfield Unico with Bob Tart. Nothing special. I did recognize Cipolla, though, as the news guy. I was like, wow, is that the same as the news guy? But yeah.
That's the guy.
It means onion. You know it means onion, right?
Yes, I've been told that probably 2 to 3 million times already. Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
I love seeing myself on the menu when I go to a restaurant.
Okay, Beverly.
Hi, I'm Beverly Grazik. I'm the oldest person you'll ever meet.
I doubt that.
Well, I'm 92, so
bless you.
Right.
that's pretty much. The secret is, if you want to live to be 92, don't die.
I like that. That's very good.
I'm a retired New Jersey attorney and Florida attorney, an Italian American with a Polish last name due to my first husband, God rest his soul. And I'm not in charge of anything except myself and my own kitchen.
Terrific. Tony Santarelli.
Tony Santarelli, Italian American One Voice Coalition Vice President.
Tara DeLeon.
Tara DeLeon, Easton, Pennsylvania, Unico.
Miriam.
Miriam Restrepo with Westfield Unico.
Great. Ed McLaughlin.
Yeah, Ed McLaughlin, Syracuse, New York, Columbus Monument Corporation.
Thank you. Vicky Miragliata.
Hi, Vicky Miragliata, past president, Monmouth County, Sons and Daughters of Italy, and member of the Italian American One Voice Coalition.
Great. Rafael Ortiz.
Rafael Ortiz, writer and author of Christopher Columbus the Hero and 5 books about Christopher Columbus.
Great, Rafael. Bob Tart.
Member, Greater Westfield Unico. I'm also a trustee of the Unico Foundation and a member of the Board of Directors of Italian American One Voice.
Okay, Martha.
Yes, Martha Lanzalotti, and I'm a proud Italian American. Happy that I come from a family of artists, opera singers, and all of that. And I am a member of Italian American One Voice Coalition.
Thank you. Michael Ocasio?
Hey, how you doing? You see me yet? I'm
Yes.
a member of the Long Island Association of Italian Americans. I'm just new here, and I'm taking over right now for a gentleman that usually would be here, but he's Angelo Computo. He was just getting out of the hospital, so I'm taking over for him for a little while.
Great, welcome. Eunice?
Hi, Eunice Davidson here. Sorry about my camera. For whatever reason, it doesn't work anymore, my iPad. But anyway, I'm Eunice Davidson. I am a tribal enrolled member of the Spirit Lake Tribe, the Midwakan, and I'm the co-founder of Native American Guardians Association and past president.
Great.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. And let's see. I've got a Eunice. Tommy, you're up.
Yeah, Tommy D'Amagella, Vice President of the Italian American Alliance in Boston, Massachusetts, also President of the North End Historical Society.
Great. Dr. Peter?
Peter Cognetti, Scranton Unico, Columbus Day Association of Lackawanna County here in Pennsylvania. And roughly 2 years ago, we invited Eunice and her husband to Old Forge, Pennsylvania for an Italian dinner, and through Andre's intervention, started this whole process.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Peter. David Finkenbinder?
Hi, David Finkenbinder, enrolled member with the Crow Creek Sioux Tribe, newly elected Vice President of NAGA, and I work with Eunice.
Yep, very good. And let's see, Frank Ferraro?
Yeah, Frank Ferraro, President, Friends of Italian Americans.
Great. Mary, Dr. Mary?
Hi, I'm Mary Kovach, National Vice President of the Commission for Social Justice, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.
Right. And I have now, for the first time, I have my brother on the call. Maurice?
Well, good evening, Maurice Domino, proud brother of Andre Domino. That's my mistake in life.
Yes. Great. Okay, I think we got everybody. Now, people that are on the phone and that I don't see you, we're not going to have you introduce yourselves, but certainly we're glad that you're here. And I'm now, did I miss anybody that's on the call?
Andre, do you see Josephine Mayetta?
No, I didn't see you, Josephine. Let's see. Hold on. Go ahead, Josephine. Introduce yourself.
Ciao a tutti. Happy New Year, 2026. I'm Josephine Mayetta. I'm the president of the Association of Italian American Educators. I'm also the producer and radio host of a program called Sabato Italiano at Hofstra University. I'm a member of One Voice Coalition of many other organizations, cultural organizations, and my mission is to promote the Italian language and culture and to support Christopher Columbus.
Okay, I think we got everybody now. And as you know, now we go to our guest speaker. Actually, we've got a couple of people on the call. I have a couple of guests on the call. One who's going to be our guest speaker, his name is John Straccia, but also the person that started this off was Penfello DiCenzo, who originally contacted me. And John, I see someone else logged on. Looks like with your name.
I was going to say there was an award. I was going to say there was an award to find out who's the real John Straccia.
So I'll put my name in the chat, just so you know.
Okay.
John must be more powerful than I know, and I have to be nicer to him because somehow I got his name signing on.
Okay, it's Wayne Matarana.
Correct.
Okay, great, Wayne. Welcome. And Penfello, if you want to say hello to everybody. Oh, you just muted yourself. You have to unmute the little microphone. There you go.
Buonasera a tutti. My name is
Buonasera.
Panfilo DiCenzo. I'm firstborn Italian American. I'm a member of the Native American Operating Committee of the Church of Jesus Christ, which John Straccia introduced to you, and I'm happy and proud to be here tonight. Thank you.
Well, that's how this started off, because Penfello had heard about our solidarity sessions, and he contacted me through email and said that he's an Italian American and some other Italian Americans that work with Native Americans. And I met with him on Zoom, And then he introduced me to John, and John gave me all the details about it and sent me a very interesting book. And I thought that, here's another connection between Italian Americans and Native Americans, as well as other natives from other countries. So at this point, I'm very happy and pleased to introduce John Straccia, who take over the call for now. John, go ahead.
Which one?
Thank you. The one at the top of the screen here. Buonasera a tutti. Ciao. I'm happy to be here with you tonight. My name is John Straccia. And so somebody mentioned a menu. So if you're in an Italian restaurant and they serve this wonderful soup called stracciatella, I tell everybody it's named after my family, but it's really not. But who would like a name like Tear or Rags for a last name? It's not very.
What about onion? What about onion?
Onions.
Anyways, my name is John Straccia, and I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ, headquartered in Monongahela, Pennsylvania. And I happen to be the chairman of the Native Outreach Committee of our church, which is mostly just in the U.S. and Canada. We do have other outreaches to natives, but it's not under my authority. We're going to explain that a little bit in the presentation tonight. So I'm happy to be with you here. And I'm hoping, as we spoke with Andre, that not only will you get familiar with who we are, but we would like to be able to somehow interact and come up with a coalition of some kind to benefit the Native people that we service, Native people that you know, as well as the Italian American people that are on this call. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screen started up, if I can.
Sure.
With a screen share.
Yep.
Give me a moment here.
Yeah, we can see it now, John.
So it always takes me a while to figure this out. Okay. This presentation, of course, is to the IAOVC and the NAGA organization. This is a solidarity session that you guys have. You come together from different parts of the country, even though you have a common heritage. You have common goals also, which is really, really great. And so I think I saw one of the Native people from Crow Creek. I think that's in South Dakota. If he could speak up. Is that South Dakota?
David, is that?
I'm sorry.
I think that was David Finkenbeiner.
Okay, I'm off mute now. Yes, that is in Crow Creek, Port Thompson.
Okay, we have several people that go to South Dakota. Maybe we can hook up with them with you on their next trip out.
Well, actually, I live in New York.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I'm in West Coxsackie, about 20 minutes south of Albany.
Okay, very good. Well, maybe we'll have to hook up with you in New Jersey.
Okay, exactly.
Anyways, we have the Creator's plan. Our desire and our heart is to work with the Native people. We think that they are a special people selected by the Creator in ways that most people don't understand and know. And I'm not going to say that I'm an expert in any fashion, but I know that a lot of the Native peoples are matriarchal societies. And so if I were to introduce myself the way some of them do, I would say that my name is John Straccia, and I am a member of the DiVincenzo clan, which is my mother's name, and a member of the Italian band. And so they introduce themselves on their mother's side. A lot of them do. And so to honor them tonight, I wanted to do the same for you so you could hear that. But we have a belief that God, the Creator God, has a great plan for the Native people, especially in the future. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But first, maybe to share with you who we are as a church. We're not a large group. We're a very small group, in fact, probably about 4,000 people in the United States and Canada. We're headquartered in Monongahela, Pennsylvania, which was our beginning place. We have, and our U.S. and Canadian membership is approximately 50% of American heritage. That's really kind of interesting to know that a lot of us are not, we may have been Italian in our lineage or Catholic in our lineage, but we have, a lot of us are now in the Church of Jesus Christ, but we still have that Italian heritage that stands out in our church. Outside of the United States and Canada, as small as we are, we have missions and works in 23 different countries of the world. Central America, South America, Philippines, India, Africa. We have a lot of countries in Africa. And we have a membership of 20,000 plus in foreign countries outside of the United States. So we're quite an active group of people. We're structured and we follow the New Testament church completely. We are structured with 12 apostles, 70 evangelists, or of the 70s, ministers, teachers. We believe in prophets. And we are witnesses to many healings, miracles, and spiritual gifts. And if you work among Native people, a lot of them experience wonderful spiritual experiences because they're a highly spiritual people. And there was a man who I'm going to talk to later that had a wonderful comment about them many years ago. We're a non-paid ministry. That means we do everything by volunteer action. We are all employed to self-support ourselves. We take no money for our ministry work. So that means that you may think of us as part-time ministers. We like to think of ourselves as full-time ministers, whether we're on the job or whether we're on vacation or whether we're out in the field doing work. Our mission, of course, is to bring Christ to all the world. And we have been given a special commission from God to work among the native peoples of North and South America. Now, I have two other men on the call with us tonight, Wayne Mortorana and Pamphilo DeCenzo. And if they, while we're going through this presentation, if they have any comments or want to clarify and help in explaining things, I'm going to let them do that, okay? And if any of you have any questions at all, interrupt and we'll be happy to try to answer them, okay?
John, the only thing I would add, just for everybody on the call, is we want you to know that this is not a quote-unquote program of the month for our church. Many of the native locations we've been working with have been established for 50 to 75 years, and many of the more recent ones we've been working on for 10 or 20 years together.
Thank you, Wayne. What do we learn about working with Native people? You never get to know anybody unless you do a lot of listening first. I think as people, sometimes we become a bit thinking that what we believe or think is more important than other people. And our first rule is when we're among Native people is to listen first. We present ourselves when they ask, we come to them, we listen. We ask them to share about their life, their experiences. And the second rule is once they're done speaking, they typically will ask us to speak. And we do a lot of praying with them too. We pray for the needs, especially on reservations. There are many needs there. And so our purpose is to share that the Creator has a great plan for them. And it's really easy to share with them because there's things that we believe that have been given to us by God. One is we believe that a prophet of renown, chosen by the Creator, will rise among them and unite them as a people. As you probably know, many of the native reservations and peoples are really not as united as they could be. And we believe that they are going to be united and should be united so that they have one voice, one source of power, and working together. And we believe that this is a promised land that was given to them and that one day it will be returned to them by the Creator. And what I mean by that is that just as the Israel was the promised covenant land to the Jews and was given back to them in this latter day, we believe the same thing is going to happen. The difference will be this. We were not so kind to the native people when we came to this land. But I believe that their love and their understanding of the Creator's purpose for them will let them love us more than we ever loved them. They are a spiritual people, and the Creator unite them, and they will follow the teachings of the Creator one day in strength and force. We believe there's there's numerous artifacts and language cognates that provide a connection to the Middle East. A lot of native traditional people don't believe that. They believe that they were raised from exactly where they were in the land. But there's a 30-year study that studied all the Southwest Indians, the Utes, the Navajo, the Apache, the Pueblo, the Zuni, and extending down into Southwest United States, down into Mexico along the coast. A cognate is a language connector. And a language connector is when words sound the same or come from the same base language. So when you say, how are you in Spanish or Italian, they are very similar in the way they're saying. So we know that those two languages have cognates or connectors that make them from the same base language. This 30-year study that was done by this man showed that all those languages of the Southwest have over 1,000 cognates or connectors, and they're all connected to a Hebrew Phoenician language base, which means that there was migration from other parts of the world to here. Our purpose is to bring to them, to Creator God, them to the Creator God, and help them resolve social ills and not change culture or language. It's very important that they try to maintain their culture and language and their identity, just as the Italians want to do that too. And so I think that's a lot of your purpose, to maintain their heritage and culture. So we're right there with you in this. In fact, we'll share some of the things we've tried to do to help them do that. In 1976, this is the man I told you. He met with a lot of Native people in a conference, and he told the Native people that he believed God had blessed them and that they were a sleeping giant ready to be awakened unto a spiritual rebirth. And so I just want to let you know that there are other people that think the same thing that we do.
Yeah.
So here, one of the things I wanted to share, we'll get to that later. This is a map of where we're doing work with the Native Outreach Committee. All the regular kind of medium blue dots up in Canada, Alberta, Calgary, Washington, Montana, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Oklahoma, Alaska. We are working, we have teams that are assembled together that make trips there several times a year, some of them up to 6 and 8 trips a year, and try to work with Native people. We develop relationships. That's what we're keyed on. Develop relationships, share the love that we have for them, and do what we can to help them in any way possible. The yellow dots and the green dots, the red dots and the green dots are Native outreaches, but they're in one of our regional parts of our church. Our church is divided into 6 regions across the United States. And they are headed by the people there, but we support those efforts in those places. The yellow dots are something new that's coming up this year for us. We're doing a lot of work with non-Native people in Idaho, Utah, and Missouri. And the yellow dots are telling us that we're going to be doing a joint effort. So this Restoration Outreach Committee that's working in these 3 states in particular, also there are Native tribes. There's 14 Native either reservations or gathering places with a headquarter. Where we're going to work together with another part of our church, extend the times of lengths of our work, and begin to do that and kind of work together as a team with another part of our organization so that we can outreach to 2 different peoples within the same week. The N's are new works. The one N in Utah is Brother Pamphilo. He's made an outreach to the Shoshone, providing them with a lot of baby and school needs for the kids. And we're going to be doing a lot more with them. We've only made 1 visit. We're going to make a second soon. And upstate New York with the 6 Nations people, in particular the Seneca and the Mohawk. So just want to let you know how far and extensive we've had with efforts that we've made through Canada and United States. So what have we accomplished in 2025? We made 43 trips. For us, it's a significant increase from the previous year. And as Wayne was telling you, we've been working with Native people probably for almost 100 years, up in Canada in particular, but everywhere, whether it's in the Dakotas or whether it's in the Southwest. We've been making a lot of efforts with them because we feel a special calling to help them in our outreach to them. We've increased our outreach in numerous existing states. We've made longer trips and introduced many new participants in our outreach. We're going down into the next layer, the 25 to 40-year-old group. A lot of our participants are getting older, and we've developed 6 new training videos on how to approach and how to work with Native people. And one of those 6 is to work with especially women and in the matriarchal environment that some of those tribes have. So a lot of youth recruits are coming on board. We've increased the use of women on our trips, and we find that they can open up doors that men can't. And so we find that a real blessing. Our donations covered all our trips. We had a surplus at the end of the year to help support pay for a van and a help and healing recovery in Arizona. And most of the people there that are benefiting there are Native people. They come from the reservations like the Apache and the Navajo. They go down into the Phoenix Mesa area, and they're getting help in recovery from different things. We started new outreaches with the Shoshone in Utah and among several Six Nations locations in Upper New York. We set up nonprofit preservation of language and culture. My background is accounting, and so what I've been doing is wherever I go, if there's a need for cultural heritage support, language support, helping the culture for elders and the tribes to be able to speak to their people, I have helped set up free of charge nonprofit organizations for them. Down in the Yucatan, even though this is not our part, I thought I'd share this with you. We have an outreach down in the Maya people in the Yucatan, and we're becoming very successful down there. We're happy to do that. We found out that there were 2 villages separated by a river that moved pretty quickly at times, and they needed a bridge to be able to converse and trade with each other. So we help fund and dedicate the bridge among those Mayan down in the central Yucatan. And one of the great accomplishments this year is connecting with Andre Domino in the Italian One Voice Coalition. Outreach accomplishments, 80 years in different reservations, 80 years, 75 years, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years, 30 years. We just have spent a lot of time working with Native people in these locations. These are permanent buildings, permanent establishments, working with them. We have kids camps efforts in many different places, Western Canada, Minnesota, and North Dakota, where we work with the children and do crafts and songs and things with them to help them understand about the Creator and God and how he wants to bless them in their life. Baby and school supply needs in many places, winter garments, boots for all ages, shoes, to hundreds of people in Minnesota and Wisconsin, working with many Native cultural centers in Oklahoma and some cities. We volunteered help at Native food kitchens for the homeless, especially in Alaska and other places. And we've had over 200 and some volunteers to work whole weeks with the Navajo Nation every summer in June and July. For a small group, I think we do pretty well. Many Native nations, they have a common story of one that many of them call the peacemaker. Now, this is really interesting. This is the book that I gave to Andre. It's called He Walked the Americas. If any of you would like a copy of that, it goes through many different stories that are held among the Native peoples in North America and Central America and even South America. It actually goes all the way to the Samoan Islands. And everyone they have a common story. Most of them talk about a man who had a beard, who had a pale face, a pale color face, a lighter skin. He spoke of peace to them. He healed their sick, and he told them that one day he would return to them. This is a very common story, very strong with the Hopi, very strong with the Six Nations. They call him Daganawida at the Six Nations. He was born of a virgin. This sounds like Jesus to you? That's exactly what most of these stories sound like. And of course, over time, they're told by words. But that's that book. And if anybody would like a copy of it, I'd be happy to give it to you.
John, let me just interject. I'm halfway through the book, and I'm I'm candidly amazed at all the similarities among the different
Yes.
nations and how the stories are so similar among all of them.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Andre. We find that there's artifacts in the United States. I don't know if you know this, but the natives know this, that the Smithsonian Institute, a branch of the United States government, if they think that anybody's trying to connect native people with other parts of the world, like Middle East area, they destroy all the evidence. For 100 years, that's been their policy.
Wow.
And they open up scrolls that shouldn't be opened. They don't know how to open them, the birch bark scrolls. They destroy them when they do that. But I'm here to tell you that there are artifacts with Paleo-Hebrew, which is the most ancient of Hebrew writing, in the United States, in Central America, in South America. What's really interesting is I heard a report that they found, I don't know if you know the story about Solomon, his ships left for 2.5 to 3 years at a time to bring gold back to Israel. They found Solomon's symbol in a gold mine cave in Peru. It kind of makes you think why it took them 2.5 or 3 years to go find the gold. But there's Paleo-Hebrew. So Los Lumis, there's a stone that's there kind of southwest of Albuquerque, and it's all in the 10 Commandments in Paleo-Hebrew. There's the Bat Creek and Decalogue stones, which also have 10 Commandments in an abbreviated format. There's a menorah carved in a cave in Michigan, where archaeologists from Israel came and authenticated what they found. They found 800 artifacts down in Puerto Rico that they say are all of Israel's origin. There's a buried city with 60,000 buildings in the Guatemala National Forest. It was found by LIDAR. 60,000 buildings. And they believe that at one time there was 15 to 20 million people living in this place. I already spoke to you about the 30-year language study that identifies large number of cognates or connectors. So we share this information with Native people so that they might have a broader perspective of what's being found in terms of archaeology, showing them that the Great Spirit or Creator and the Christian God are really one and the same. We may have different aspects about what we believe. Christians were meant to be a very spiritual people in their service to Yahweh or God. Native people by nature are very spiritual people, and they serve and they worship a creator. He's a great spirit to them, and they are touched by that spirit just as Christians are touched by that spirit. We're always building relationships, always praying for needs on everybody, especially on the reservations. Okay, that's really it. I don't know if anybody has any questions for us tonight, but I wanted to let you know that we feel real strongly about working with Native people, and we have a great love for them, and we hope that we can do a lot more in the future for them.
Wow.
I could tell you, John,
Beautiful.
after 2 years of our
Amazing.
2 years of our meetings like this between Italian Americans and Native Americans, I think everybody on the call can see why I said you had to be a guest speaker on this call tonight.
Sure.
Because such an
Yes.
interesting connection
That's amazing.
that you've had for so long, and that we've just started for the past 2 years. So very, very interesting. I learned a lot more tonight as well. And certainly I'll open it up for any questions or any comments that people have. Please, if you could raise your hand, and I'll call on you so that we can everybody can hear your comments or questions.
John, I like that. Andre, I like to add that, whenever
Sure,
there is a
Bill.
need, amongst the reservations or the tribes or wherever, it would be nice if you can contact us and see how we can help the coalition help them.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Well, we have representatives of NAGA on them. Certainly they hear that, and we'll be happy to be the conduit. They can contact you directly. Martha has her hand up.
Yes, you mentioned the name of the book and it went right past me. So what is the
Okay.
name of the book and how can I get a copy?
He Walked the Americas. You can actually go on a website and just type that in, and you can buy used books and
Okay.
new ones that haven't been circulated. But if you want one free, if you would take my name, John Straccia, at gmail.com,
Mm-hmm.
Send me a message and your address. I will send you a free copy.
Well, thank you very much.
Very interesting
And
read.
I use your full, really? I use your full name, John Straccia?
Yeah, John Straccia, no dots or underscores at
Okay.
gmail.com.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Very interesting.
The other thing that I would just add briefly to Brother John's presentation is he mostly focused on Canada and the US, but we are actually working with Aboriginal people all the way in Central and South America. We have another 30 locations in Mexico we're working with, and another dozen in South America. So this is, it fills the Americas, really.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Wayne. Anybody else have any other questions? Well, John and your team, we're so glad that you came on the call tonight. We really appreciate it. And we hope this does turn into a regular relationship between us and among us. With NAGA, all the Italian American organizations that are on the call, and all the individuals that are joining us as well. So thank you very much, John. We really appreciate the presentation.
You're welcome. And I want to thank everybody for listening to what we had to say tonight. God bless you.
Thank you. And you're welcome to stay on. We got just a few more. We've got 20 more minutes that we're gonna continue with some updates and so forth. I'd like to ask Eunice or whoever from NAGA to give us an update on the important thing that they're working on right now with respect to the legal side of things, which a big announcement has come up just recently. Go ahead, Eunice.
Okay, hi. Hi. First of all, I'd like to thank that gentleman for his talk about the Creator and spirituality with Indian people, because we are very, very spiritual. We're more spiritual than we are like going to church or anything like that. And I totally believe in the Creator. It's just a different form of God to us. You know, we all kind of believe the same way. But I'd like to thank that gentleman. Andre, if you could give me his contact information, I would like to put him in contact with one of our spiritual people on our reservation who was trying so hard to get our kids to, you know, to learn about the Creator of God. You might probably could talk with him.
Sure.
Okay, so on our NAGA has been fighting over the since 2014. Well, I've been in this fight since 2007, and to save our names and images. And we worked through the years with I've worked with many people around the nation, traveled to many areas, talked to many people. And, you know, my strong belief is that to get rid of our name and image, we are going to become even more forgotten than what we are right now. And as my travels, I've seen where they quit teaching about the history about the Indians, and even present day today, they don't teach anything about them. So I got curious. I started asking some people out, especially out in the New York area. They said they would love to have one of us help them start teaching. So I asked them, I said, why don't you teach anymore? And they said, well, when we do try, we get attacked by Native Americans out here saying that we don't have the right, we're not the right people to teach this. And so, you know, they're just tired of being hounded, I guess. But anyway, through this whole thing, we found this lawyer, Chap Peterson from Virginia. And he became a real friend of ours. He was a big supporter of the Washington Redskins and a fan of the team. Well, anyway, through the years, him and I have been working. He's been writing letters for us to these schools and school boards that, you know, the community's 14th Amendment rights are being violated through discrimination. People in those areas in the communities, they're taxpayers. They have a right to do what they want to do with their schools, or name their schools even. So anyway, we've been working. We've been trying to find somebody to help us to get a lawsuit started. Well, this past year, I don't know if you all pay attention to it or not, but Massapequa, New York, Long Island, New York, they have their Indian name is Chiefs, and they wanted to keep it. Well, New York, the education commissioners or whoever they were trying to get rid of all of them. Well, they decided to fight back. And through our website, Linda McMahon, the Secretary of State, found out about us and found out from President Trump. And he said to get a hold of us, try and get a hold of some of us. So the lady that I've been working with at Massapequa School, she's the board president, Carrie Watcher. She got a hold of me. and told me about it. And I said, really? I said, what can we do to help? And she said, oh, Eunice, we need your help. She said, we do need Native Americans to get into this lawsuit with us. I said, well, tell me what we can do. She said, well, how do we get this out to people? I said, well, you guys have the perfect person in your area. I said, he works for Brian Kilmeade. He works for Fox News. I said, do you know him? And she didn't, but she has friends who did. So she got a hold of Brian. They got a hold of Brian. And a couple of days later, lo and behold, Brian called my cell phone. She gave him my phone number. So I talked to Brian. I told him who we are, that our motto is to educate, not eradicate. We want to educate more about our people rather than taking it away. And he totally agreed. So anyway, I got back to the gal said from Department of Education, and they asked us if we would file to the Office of Civil Rights about what was happening to us. If we would file a complaint. So I told them I'd get a hold of our attorney, and I did. Well, that's what started the whole thing. We filed a complaint, discrimination complaint with the Office of Civil Rights. And they, lo and behold, we decided to join our lawsuits with Massapequa. We got involved with them. And then the Department of Justice decided to get involved because of our complaint to the Office of Civil Rights. And they joined in up with us. So right now we're working. We got our first appeal was to the court that had dismissed Massapequa. Well, they dismissed us, said we had no standing. We're all Native Americans here, but we had no standing. So we went ahead and they said, well, we're not going to appeal to that court again. We're going to go and jump to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. And we did. And our lawyers just filed about, I think, a month ago. I don't know, David, is that right? And in fact, David is the representative from NAGA that's standing with New York. He's the name of the lawsuit. David, if you want to jump in here, you can.
Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, I believe you're correct on the dates. So
Yeah.
we're just playing the waiting game right now.
Yeah. So our attorney tells me, he says, well, this could go on. We don't know how long it'll go on with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. It could take a month. It could take a year before they're going to probably dismiss us again. And he said, when they do dismiss us, then we're going to appeal to the Supreme Court. So we're really hoping we get to the Supreme Court. It doesn't take too long. Because we do need to have this fixed. I mean, that's absolutely crazy what's going on in the country. How they are totally dismissing us. We have no standing. They're getting rid of our names and images. Nobody wants to teach about us, and it's just crazy. I mean, I understand, and I totally talking with the Italians in my trip out to Scranton. I really saw the need for somebody to help the Italians, Native Americans, because they're making a big thing out of this with Columbus. And I never knew anything about Columbus until I got involved with this. And Andre and Tommy introduced me to Rafael Ortez. And I bought Raphael's book and I started reading about it. And I realized they're doing the same thing to your people as they did to us. They're just putting out lies out there, distortions about everything. And so I've been out there. I've been trying to talk about Raphael's book, trying to educate people about Columbus, why I support him. You guys have every right to your hero, as we do with ours. And we're all in this country together. We're all Americans. I don't care who we are. If you're an American, you have a right to your culture. That's what makes us all unique. And I have no problem with it. So like I've told Andre, I totally support you guys. I understand you're in a lawsuit also. I hope you guys can get that to the Supreme Court. Maybe you should talk to our attorney. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Eunice, Frank Lorenzo, are you able to speak now?
Unfortunately, not at the moment.
Okay. All right. No problem, Frank. Frank's taking care of the two kids tonight, so he told me I might have to fill in for him. But Frank is our vice president, and he really kicked off our legal side with all the precedent cases showing that Italian Americans are a recognized group under the 14th Amendment, just what Eunice just said. And we actually filed our lawsuit back in September of 20 at the federal court. And believe it or not, it's been going on now for over 5 years. And most recently, and by the way, we've won a number of issues where the town, we sued West Orange, New Jersey for removing the Columbus Monument. And they tried to get it thrown out twice. We beat them twice on that. They tried to say that we didn't have standing, and we were able to achieve standing. So we've won a number of battles. Just recently, the judge ordered a mediation. We had a court-ordered mediation that I was on with our attorney and their attorneys on a separate Zoom call back and forth. And we had a series of things that we would do to settle. And the number one thing was replace that monument. That monument was put up by Italian Americans in honor of Columbus, paid for by Italian Americans, and the town had up for many, many years. And they took it down for no reason. So the first thing we had, in addition to the other things, was we said the first thing is that the monument had to go back. And they absolutely refused. So therefore, there is no mediation. There is no settlement. So if we have to, we're going to go to the Supreme Court, just like Eunice said. And what's very interesting is here we go again. Both groups, Italian Americans and Native Americans, are both on a very similar track in the federal courts now, defending our heritages. So it shows that our efforts at unity are important, and that's what we're doing here. Also want to bring up most recently, you saw the newly elected governor in Virginia.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
Yeah, one of her very first things on her day, on her day that she was inaugurated, was to restart the elimination of Columbus Day in Virginia. So I wrote an open letter to the governor of Virginia. She didn't respond, but it kind of went viral. I've had two reporters contact me already. I may be online speaking about that. Frank Sapolo, of course, will handle that when that comes up. But we are asking others if you could take my letter and also send a letter to the governor of Virginia and just say that she shouldn't be attacking Italian Americans. My letter's got a lot of historical content in it as to why they shouldn't be doing this. So just like Eunice said, with Native Americans, we're on the same track with Italian Americans in different areas. This one in Virginia, and of course our lawsuit in West Orange, New Jersey.
Is your letter on Facebook or?
Yes, it is. And what I'm going to do, by the way, a couple of people had asked me, and when I send out the summary of this call tonight, I'm going to send my letter out to everyone so you'll have the information.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Robert?
Two things. Will that have the contact information for the governor of Virginia?
Yes, I have the contact information. And also because my letter went viral on Facebook, somebody recommended a couple of other people that we should send it to. Just to let you know, this was tried twice before in Virginia, and both times it failed. So this is the third attempt, but now they've got the governor behind it, which is a new wrinkle to it.
The second thing is, I don't know if a lot of people know, but Brian Kilmeade is an Italian American and was one of the honorees by the Italian Tribune this year.
Yep, he's half Italian.
He is.
Hey, Andre, we should, I have a lot of good contacts in the Virginia television radio station. So when you're ready to go, let me go. We'll pull the trigger on this and get as much coverage as possible. We want to do it before it gets too much out there. And then we find out the momentum is going in a different direction. So let me know as soon as you're ready and not too late.
Absolutely. We'll do it tomorrow. Go ahead,
okay.
Tommy.
Andre, with this, is it a good idea to contact Congressman Rulli about this? Because he's really been raising the issue about making Columbus a national holiday that can never be changed on the federal level, using the supremacy clause and things that I've been talking about for the longest time. But he's made himself very vocal. Is he aware of this? Have you communicated this to him too, Andre?
Very good suggestion, Tommy. Yes, I did send my letter to Congressman Rulli, just so everyone, and Tommy's an expert at this, but just so everyone knows, Congressman Rulli has actually put a bill forward that says if any state eliminates Columbus Day, they won't get federal funding. So we're hoping that bill goes through. That would be great.
That's Andre? That would be a great conversation, knowing somebody in Congress is aware of what a governor's doing at that level.
Andre?
We got to connect that, okay?
Andre?
Yes.
I know this isn't a legal argument, but it sounds like Virginia, this is just payback for taking down the Civil War people.
Well, it could be.
I don't know.
Possibly. I mean, it could be. They took down Robert E. Lee. They're pissed off.
Yeah.
I don't think it's payback. They're just keeping that.
Andre.
They just
Andre.
keep it going.
Hello.
Go ahead, Beverly.
Yeah, I just am asking those Italian American organizations in New Jersey if they would maybe push a little harder to get the Columbus statue back in Newark.
This is a disgrace. Newark had one of the largest Italian American communities in the entire United States. It's gone. We realize what happened. Everybody who had family there knows all about what happened, but that statue should not stay at St. Lucy's. It should be back where it belongs.
Absolutely.
So please help out with that. I understand that we're concerned about Virginia, and I certainly support and give my efforts to get to do all of that you have suggested. Whenever you have a letter or an email or anything, I always participate, but I am asking people to please help the Italian Americans, who many of whom were my family, to get and paid not only for the statue but also the basilica. That basilica was built with nickels and dimes and quarters of Italian Americans. So help us there too, please.
Absolutely, Beverly. We'll get that message out there, and I absolutely agree with you. Okay, and anybody have anything else they want to bring up at this point?
Andre, it's Eunice.
Yes, Eunice, go ahead.
I have one more request, and I don't know if this is where I should do it or not, but we're trying to fundraise for our trip to the Supreme Court. And if anybody is willing to donate, Andre, would you give them our website? You can donate on the website. That would really be helpful.
We'll put that in the follow-up email. No problem, Eunice. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody
Another
knows.
thing, Andre, I got some good news that I listened to Basil Russo, who's the president of Cobomayo, and he shared with us that he's in contact with the White House, and he has a much more receptive White House about Columbus with the Trump administration, and they're actually looking for a location near the White House to actually bring a statue of Christopher Columbus on the grounds.
No,
I don't know if you all knew that, but that's something that's in the works, and that'd be a real statement. And it kind of goes along with other things that you should be aware of, is that we have the Columbus doors to the Capitol building. That's been there for over a century. It tells a whole story of Christopher Columbus. He's in all the fresco paintings inside the rotunda. There's so many symbolisms of Columbus besides, Columbus, DC. He's everywhere. And the idea that they're trying to eradicate him, it's an American symbol. And we got to remind ourselves, this has got nothing just to do with Italians. It is really part of our heritage as Americans. And I think that's what we want to share with people. And they're just really, it's like, in my opinion, it's like stamping on the American flag. And we probably, if we work a little bit more on doing that with the programs when we do speak up, it doesn't sound like it's just, all about us. I thought I'd just share that.
Yep. Thanks, Tommy.
The country was almost called Columbia, not United States of America.
Right. I know, that's right.
I have this fantasy vision of us appearing at the Supreme Court at the same time as our Native American friends.
Yeah.
And it would create a much more united front. I don't know how that could happen because we'd have to be in the same docket and everything.
Well, actually, Martha, we have some ideas about that I'm going to be discussing with Eunice and their attorneys. So
very good. Very good.
We do. I spoke with our attorneys, and there is some possibility there. We'll see. But everybody knows that I like to keep to the IBM rule.
9 o'clock. You got it.
We're on the IBM rule. We can't go over an hour because that means it's not a good meeting. So we want to have a good meeting. We appreciate very much our guest speaker, John, and his team that were on with us tonight. And we're happy that you could be with us. And I appreciate everybody else being on as we continue to work for solidarity and unity among all of our heritages. So we look forward to seeing everybody on our February call, which will be towards the end of the month in February. And other than that, if you're in the area, be careful for the snow. And for those 82 degrees, don't say it again.
Yes.
All right.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Ciao.
Tutti.
Good night. Ciao. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Good night.
Ciao.
Ciao, Josephine.
Ciao, ciao.
Good night.
Ciao.
Good night.